Hi, I'm Daniel James Howell with Community Television, and we're here at the Santa Cruz County Fair. This year, all across the country, Americans are celebrating 200 years of agricultural festivals. We'll be here every day talking to the folks that make this fair so great. There ain't no fair like the Santa Cruz County Fair.
You guys see him over there in the field? Give him a applause. Ari is a passive alert detector. This means when he finds the odor of a drug, he's going to sit down where he finds the drug. All right, his handler is going to send him on a search. Can we get long speeds from her? So bad guys, when they're running away, they run away, and the item that they drop has fresh human scent on it, right? And now Madison maybe wants to rub those keys in her hand and we'll put some extra scent on it. As hard as you can, throw the keys out into the middle of the grass. Awesome! Let's give her a hand. Tommy's gonna search the area and find the article. Once he finds the article, he's gonna sit down so that his camera can locate it. There we go!
Our dogs today demonstrated how to locate narcotics and also articles that can be dropped by a suspect when fleeing from the police. The dogs showed the different forms of how they find either the narcotics or the articles, which include active and passive alert.
So next we're going to start the suspect apprehension. You guys want to see our bad guy? Hey! Whoa, here's Eric. I'm a little scared.
So after we did the narcotics and the searching for items, we moved on to suspect apprehension, which includes the dog being able to be called off if a suspect's running away and then gives up to the police. And then also if the suspect continues to run away and does not obey orders given by the police officer, which includes the dog engaging with the suspect, including a bite.
Sheriff's Office Canada, come over, house and dog! Come over, house and the dog! Got a boy!
Oh, we got the bad guy!
Stand still! Tommy, boost, gimme!
What a good boy! Did you see that? You guys hear Ari getting upset?
So today we also demonstrated how to do handler protection. The dogs are trained to exit the car once an officer needs help, and this is done by a button on the duty belt of the police officer. When the police officer feels he's in trouble and needs help and the dog was not already deployed, he can have the car door pop open and the dog come out and pretty much rescue him.
Good job, Ari!
I enjoyed coming out here today to be part of our canine demo, because this is something that I hope to pursue later, to be a handler myself. And it's great to get out here to be with the kids and get to share with them what we do, and hopefully get a better understanding and a better rapport with them, so that they know that, you know, law enforcement is some people that they can come to, and if they need help or have questions or anything, and maybe they can aspire later to also become a law enforcement officer.
Is this your dog?
This one's mine, yes.
You're a good dog.
Okay. He's 6.5.
Why are the dogs just like my sister?
Why are they so warm? Well, their body temperature is higher than ours, so they always feel a little bit warmer than us. For the most part, these are German Shepherd or Malinois dogs that we use for this type of work. basically because the temperament of the dog works well with this kind of work. They're not doing it out of anger or out of meanness. They're doing it out of a drive they have that is being fulfilled by this bite work and this hunt work. Because they're actually hunting for the drugs or hunting for the suspect or hunting for the article. And they're fulfilling a need within them. The dogs are we usually get them somewhere between 18 months and 3 years of age, and we do the training. The training goes on throughout their life, maintenance training, but the basic foundation training, it takes approximately 6 weeks for us to put that in. The dogs are usually worked for until they're about 7, 8 years old. Some dogs can go a little longer, some dogs shorter, depending on the wear and tear on the individual dog. I started training dogs when I was about 10 years old, basic obedience with AKC. We hunted as kids, so we started doing hunting dogs. I got into those. About 20 years ago, I started getting into protection work, and after that, I got into the sport of Schutzhund, and from there, I got into police work about 7 years ago, where it's become a full-time job. And what it does for me, it's a very primal thing to get out there and fight with a dog, and it's very exciting, a lot of adrenaline pumps, and I feel like I'm doing something good. You know, I'm helping the canine team, the officer and the dog, to be as efficient as possible when they go out there to do their work.
My name is Judy Sauvé. I'm with the Monterey Bay Rose Society. This is our display garden at the Santa Cruz County Fairgrounds. We took the rose garden over about 3 years ago from the Watsonville Women's Club, who originally planted it about 18 years ago. We have taken out a lot of the older roses and planted the newer roses that were donated by local nurseries. My husband and I come out about 3 or 4 days a week and work on our lunch hours. We have 3 or 4 days a year where our society members come out and we prune and clean and get ready for the fair. We have about 200 roses in the garden, all different varieties, colors, smells. This rose is oranges and lemons. It's a variegated orange and yellow, and it fades to a pink and white. Okay, this is Taboo. It's a dark red. It was hybridized in 1983. Has no scent at all, but it is a very pretty rose. The white rose to the left is Margaret Merrill. It has the best scent of any of the roses in the garden as far as I'm concerned. Lida Rose was hybridized by a local woman named Klein and Latnich, who lives in the Corlitas area, and it was named for her daughter, Lida Rose. This rose is Golden Holstein. It's a deep yellow, hybridized in 1989. The garden is also open all year long except for federal holidays. You can come out anytime and enjoy it.
And we're here with Mike Nelson. He is a member of the Watsonville Bonsai and lives in Prunedale. What are you doing here, Mike?
I'm demonstrating for fairgoers the art of bonsai.
Wonderful. And what are we doing in front of you here, Mike?
Right here I have a pyracantha tree. I've had it for maybe 10, 12 years, and I'm doing some of its final shaping. This plant was pretty bushy when I started. I have a whole garbage can full of extra foliage, but right now I am arranging the look of the stem, the branches, so that it has much more of the feeling of a live tree, a real full-sized tree.
Wonderful. And how do these start? What do you call them when they start, and what do you call them when they're really old, like behind us?
I guess you'd call beginning plants or starter plants. Raw material is another word for it. And then as they're worked on and refined and shaped, you finally have, like in our collection here, what you'd call a finished bonsai, even though they're never really finished. They're live creatures. They keep growing out of shape, and so you put them back into shape.
Wonderful. How old are some of these trees behind us?
The trees in the display, some of them are rather young, like this, maybe only 12 or so years old. There's a few over 100 years old. There's one over there about 300 years old.
My goodness, you'd have to give that to somebody in the family to keep it going.
That's actually one of the attractions. My youngest daughter is interested in bonsai, and I hope my collection will go to her. But many times these trees are growing wild for decades or even centuries, and they're collected by permit and then cultivated as a bonsai. But then, yes, they're handed down to people.
Wonderful. This is really fabulous. How did you get started?
A Christmas present. My parents gave me a pot, a little pine tree, and the Sunset Garden book of bonsai, and I just fell in love. I don't know really what really captured my attention as a youngster, but I've been doing this almost 40 years now.
Wow. How many people are in the club?
Watsonville Club probably has 2 dozen to 3 dozen individuals. I also belong to Monterey Bonsai Club. We've got a similar number. And gosh, there's dozens and dozens of clubs around the state.
Wow, this is great. Do you go to conventions?
There is an annual convention that the Federation of Bonsai Clubs in California puts on. I usually make every other one. They're in Northern California one year and in Southern California the next year. There's a Northwest Bonsai group for Oregon and Washington, British Columbia, and there's ones back east. And every large group usually has a multi-day convention every year.
Wow, that's really interesting. What's your favorite part of doing bonsai?
I think taking them from raw material to half-finished stage. That, for me, is the most creative. You reveal what's being hidden by all the foliage, and you can see what the potential is in a plant. Once they're done, I want to try a new plant.
I see there's wires in this other plant next to you over here. What does that mean?
Yes, the wires are used to shape the tree. Sometimes the trunk or the foliage isn't where you want it. The branches aren't in the right position to achieve the effect that you want. So you can take the right size wire, typically copper or aluminum, rotate it or coil it around the branch, bend it into shape, and then after several months, you can remove the wire and the wood will hold that shape. And now you have every branch and every bit of the trunk just where you want it.
Are some plants easier to bonsai than others?
Definitely. You'd like a tree that has relatively small foliage, flexible branches, a nice fibrous root system rather than a long stringy root system. And then some plants seem to love cultivation. Others, they're hard to keep alive. So yes, there are some, many junipers are excellent material. Boxwood, some azaleas, elm trees are nice, various pine trees. There's not just one bonsai species. It's huge. Just about anything with a fibrous root system and a small foliage can at least be attempted. even flowering trees, crabapple, hawthorn, azalea, things like that.
Is that as much fun as it looks like?
Yes, completely. It's as much fun as I've ever had in my life. My name is Sophie Darling, and I'm a senior trainer, and I just work with these animals and help support them and take care of them and teach the rest of our staff members and volunteers how to pursue a career in marine mammalogy. So Saki, who's behind me, is 23 years old, and she's still kicking. She's doing great. In captivity, these animals, they live a lot longer in captivity. They can live into their 30s.
Saki's pretty famous too, right?
She is world famous, the most famous sea lion, and probably the world's best trained, and still trying to get our attention back there. She's done movies, television shows, documentaries. There's a book written about her life. She's met thousands and thousands of people, supported many conservation education programs, and basically touched the lives of as many people in as many different ways as you possibly can as a sea lion.
Wow, that's awesome. And was she rescued also?
She was stranded as in an El Nino event, as Jennifer told you, and rescued and deemed unreleasable, and went through a couple of programs and ended up with us, and she's been with us and Jennifer for 22 years.
Anything that you want to ask folks to do to help support sleuths, or any of the things that you guys are doing?
It's just the same old stuff. It's so easy to recycle and just pick up your litter everywhere you go. If I'm on the beach, I'm constantly picking up little pieces and just, you know, little things like if you're washing your car in your parking lot, use sustainable biodegradable soap kind of things. It's all these little things that are so easy to contribute in order to make it a safer and better world.
Cool. Thanks so much for talking to us today.
Yeah, you betcha.
She's just trying to get our attention. Remember I told you about the ham part? Here it is, right here. I noticed there's a camera. Did you see how beautiful I am? I am the world's most famous sea lion. I translate sea lion for a living, so that's what we're getting here.
Hi, so we're here with Dr. Jennifer Zalegs, and she's with Sleuths. Tell us a little bit about what you do with the organization.
Well, Sleuths is basically functions as a teaching aquarium based out of California State Universities here locally at Moss Landing Marine Laboratories. And we have a variety of research and conservation marine education programs that we run through the course of our year.
Do you have the best job in the world, or what?
Wow. Well, it's the best job in the world for me, yeah. Some days are better than others, but working with the sea lions always helps to bring a smile to your face or to the people that you're working with. Working with children is a delight, and I love the educational work that we do with students who are interested in this type of career. People really are enthusiastic about the animals as marine ambassadors, so it really helps us to spread and do a lot of good works.
So what's it like trying to train sea lions? Compared to like having a dog at home, maybe? I mean, is it easy? Is it difficult?
Sea lions are very closely related to dogs, actually, through a wolf-like ancestry. So they share a lot in common with dogs, but they are an exotic dog, an exotic wet dog. So a lot more dangerous than dogs typically are, but there's a lot of similarities in terms of their social structure and certainly their intelligence and adaptability.
Yeah, they seem really bright. How aware are they of the crowds out here?
Oh, they're completely aware of the crowds. Yeah, no, they can't be bright and not aware of the crowd. So they definitely notice and they understand. Part of our training process is to make them as comfortable and enthusiastic about the experiences that they're going to naturally interact with as ambassadors. So we teach them to appreciate applause. They appreciate applause just like a human does. And they like the cameras, the whole thing, they're hams. So yeah, they really vibrate well with the environment of a lot of people loving them.
How can people help our sea lion neighbors? Like, what's the best way to interact with them? What's the best way to support what you guys are doing?
I think what's important to realize is the sea lions are just a part of the ecosystem, and we're really interested in marine conservation as a preservation of the ecosystem. Simple things that people can do at home. Probably the single best thing that you can do at home is to purchase sustainable fisheries. We are partnered with the Monterey Bay Aquarium in the Seafood Watch program, where we hand out cards that help you make good seafood choices, so you don't buy fish that are farmed in a way or caught in a way that is unsustainable for our natural environment. Other things, dispose of hazardous waste properly, don't litter wherever you go, throw your trash in the trash, and recycling. Those are really simple things that everyone can do to help participate in the marine ecosystem conservation.
Anything else you want to say about SLUIS? Anything that people can do to help you guys?
We offer a internship and a trainer for a day program that a lot of people don't realize in the community. You can actually come, and as part of our teaching aquarium mission, you can come and work with us at our facility for a day. So people who find this to be the most interesting job in the world, as you said, not my words, but if you're interested in that type of thing, you can actually come and experience what it's like in a science facility and really do a lot of hands-on work with the animals.
All right, we're here at the Santa Cruz County Fair with Community TV, Santa Cruz, and we're really happy. Right now we are in a train exhibition with all of these kids are just so excited, and here we have the president of the Railroad Historical Society. This is Jim.
Hi, I'm Jim Swartell, and welcome to Santa Cruz County Railroad Historical Society.
Jim, this is so amazing. You're saying it's a replica of Santa Cruz County. Can you tell us about the exhibit and what you guys are doing?
Yes, the HO example is of Santa Cruz County back in the 50s and possibly late 40s. And what we tried to show is what railroading was back in those days and what it meant to Santa Cruz. And so this means a lot to us, knowing that we have the county from Watsonville in through Capitola, Santa Cruz, Felton, and what's Olympia on the other side of Felton. And then we have our end scale on the wall. It's a no-name city, but it puts us into developing different landscapes. We have some desert scenes, and then we have some city scenes. And then outside our garden scale is a big joy for the children. They love the Thomas the Tank Engine coming through and the big sizes of those engines just rolling through. So.
Well, that's so neat. I can't believe the detail that is going on here. I don't know if you can see this completely at home. Is you might have to come all the way down to the fair to actually check it out in detail because it's so amazing. I'm wondering what the most challenging part of making a scale model of this railroad system is and was.
I think the most challenging part is just trying to lay the track. Once the track is in, it seems like everything flows just fine. They have some wonderful materials out there these days with plaster tape already with the plaster in it. In the old days when I was a child, I used to use cardboard and screen and form it with plaster of Paris. And it was much difficult. Now it's a lot easier to detail. There's some foam you could use, and you use like a hot knife to carve. That's what my son did on the mountain you'll see in N scale. So it makes it really, really neat to bring the creative part of you out.
So have you been into this since you were a child?
Yes, I was probably 8 years old when I had my first train set, the HO, like you see here in Santa Cruz County. And I always dabbled in trying to build a layout, and I didn't come to build anything until I was graduated the 8th grade. And all through high school, that's what I did. I would build this layout and work on it. My dad was a mechanic, thinking everything had to be finished. And I was saying, it's a work in progress, Dad. It's always a work in progress. So,
wow, it's very impressive to someone like me because I don't really have that kind of spatial mind. So I'm always impressed when someone can do all those calculations. And what historically have you learned about the city and this county of Santa Cruz through doing this that people might be interested in finding out about?
So the history of Santa Cruz, being here at Santa Cruz County Railroad Historical Society, I learned a lot about not just the ice plant being in town that used to support all the refrigerator cars with ice, but also we had the old Bradford Hotel across from the boardwalk, and there used to be a walkover. You used to walk over the street, and that was there until the earthquake '89, and that building came down. But there's some wonderful stories. You know, even from the gunpowder days when they had to blast the mines to put the train tunnel in through, to Mission Hill with all the wonderful history there with the church and what it brought to Santa Cruz.
Well, this is fascinating. Thank you so much, Jim. I really appreciate your time, and everyone come down and see the trains.
Yes, thanks. Please come down, and we have some wonderful sponsors. We're running a raffle. We have some wonderful gifts. So please help out our train club expand and continue this joy for our children.
All right. Choo-choo.